Hantavirus. The video we're gonna be checking out is titled, "What is hantavirus and how is it spread?" Guys, I've been hearing about this hantavirus. Apparently, my lady said it can only spread through like rats and mice and things like that, rodents like that. But I just seen news that it's been spreading from people. So I don't know. I'm not really familiar with what's really going on with this virus. I just heard about it yesterday. So I'm about to go ahead and check this out with you guys. I decided to check it out with you guys. So if you have questions, I have questions. We can get these questions answered together, guys. Let's go ahead and check these out.
There's been an outbreak of hantavirus on a cruise ship, and that's led to the death of some passengers. So what do we know about this virus?
What is hantavirus?
On a cruise ship.
Well, hantavirus, it's named after a river in South Korea, and that word, hantavirus, really describes a sort of family of viruses. Around 20 viral species have been identified according to the World Health Organization. It's not just one infection. It's really serious, but it's also relatively rare, and it's linked to exposure to rats and mice. The risk is typically highest when someone's doing something like, for example, cleaning out a building that's had a rodent infestation. So most of the human cases are reported in rural settings, such as forests.
Hey, all I gotta say is do not let this virus get to New York, bruh. It's raps. Do not let this virus get to New York, fam.
Fields or farms where rodents are present, and that means the opportunities for exposure are greatest.
Where could this outbreak have come from?
That's a really, really important question, and the answer is we don't yet know. All the cases are linked to this cruise ship, the MV Hondius, which set sail from the very southern tip of Argentina at the very beginning of April. But the first two fatalities, who were a Dutch couple, they're reported to have travelled through South America before boarding the ship. Now, that's really important because it's possible that one or both of them came into contact with the virus during their travels. And one version of the virus, known as Andes virus, that's been identified as causing infection in humans in both Argentina and in Chile. So, for example, in late 2018, there was an Argentinian outbreak that was traced back to people who'd all gone to the same party. A single person with the virus led to 34 confirmed cases and 11 deaths.
How does it spread? Is it airborne?
Yeah, it is slightly.
Hey, the scary thing is, y'all, they traveled through no telling how long they had this virus. They traveled through South America. You know, I don't know, maybe they caught it before, or even if they caught it during when they were in South America, they had to travel to the cruise ship. So if it's true that you can now, you know what I'm saying, carry this from person to person, that's scary, bruh. And then not only that, they got onto the cruise ship. There's no telling how many people was on this cruise ship, y'all. And now it's spreading. Now it was spreading on the cruise ship. Hey, bruh, scary, scary, y'all.
It's transmitted actually by rodents, typically rats and mice, through their dried urine and the droppings, which are then blown into the air and inhaled. That's where it is slightly airborne. So mostly, yes, it is spread from rodents, but there have been these relatively rare cases of human-to-human transmission of this virus known as the Andes virus.
What are the symptoms?
Well, the virus can cause two really severe illnesses. The first is called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, and it often starts with sort of flu-like symptoms, really. You can get fatigue, fever, muscle aches, then followed by headaches, dizziness, chills, upset stomachs. But then, this is where it starts to get very serious. You get respiratory symptoms develop. So, for example, breathlessness. And the mortality rate associated with this type of illness is around 38%. So more than a third of the people, according to the Center for Disease Control in the United States, will die if they get that type of the virus. The second illness is called hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, and this is even more severe and primarily affects the kidneys. So later symptoms can include low blood pressure, internal bleeding, and also acute kidney failure. The mortality rate for this version is 50%, so half the people who get it are likely to die.
Who should be more worried? Is it
Half
more dangerous?
Hold on, whoa. Did he just say half the people that will get it will likely die?
The mortality rate for this version is 50%, so half the people who get it are likely to die.
Who should be more worried? Is it more dangerous if an old person catches it?
Well, obviously, if you're older or frail, or even if you have underlying health conditions, any sort of serious infection like this could have devastating consequences. So it's pretty serious, however old or young you are.
How do you test for it?
So there are currently some cases that have been confirmed and some that are still suspected, but the way you test for it is what's called a PCR test. Now, people may remember these from the COVID pandemic when you might have a swab inside your cheek or up your nose. What it is a molecular biology technique.
I hated that swab inside the nose, fam. Like they go all the way up in here into your brain and nah, fam. We about to go back onto these. We about to go back, y'all. We about to go back. We about to be on lockdown, fam. I'm not ready for that. I don't want that, y'all. I do not want that.
Can quickly amplify or copy specific DNA segments, and that can create millions or even billions of copies from a very, very minute sample. And that allows, in other words, genetic testing.
What's the treatment if you do have it?
So there is no specific treatment or indeed vaccinations for hantavirus infections. Instead, medical teams will be supporting and treating the symptoms of the infection. Things like breathlessness, for example, and that's called supportive care. So that might include everything from oxygen therapy, mechanical ventilation, antiviral treatments, even dialysis if you have the most serious version of the illness which can affect your kidneys.
So will we have another lockdown? Is this like coronavirus 2.0?
It's obviously still a really serious situation for those who remain on board the cruise ship. There must be a lot of worry about more cases emerging among the remaining passengers and the crew.
So hold on. So they kept these people on the cruise ship. They not on land nowhere. Yeah, keep them out there on, like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna pray for them, but we're gonna keep them out there in the ocean somewhere until they, until we know what's going on, until they good. Cause we can't have them coming onto land and then infecting other people, and then we got Corona. What is it? The Rona 2.0. Nah, bruh.
But the World Health Organization says that currently the risk to the global population is low. But public health experts are going to continue to monitor and assess that situation. That risk assessment will be updated if they think it's necessary. So at the moment, no, I think we are a long way from a lockdown, and this really doesn't look like a coronavirus moment.
Okay.
It's understandable why people might worry about that. We all remember the beginning of the COVID pandemic when cruise ships in particular seemed to be vulnerable to infections like this, but I'd say we're still some way off that.
Bro, I remember when that first happened, when we first learned about the corona, bro. I was on vacation, y'all. I was in Puerto Rico somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Living my best life. I was working a 9 to 5. My job called me. They was like, look, you won't be coming back to the office when you come back. You'll be going straight home. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who you came in contact with on your trip. You know what I'm saying? We don't know nothing about this corona and what's going on. Hey, it was serious, y'all. They literally, I couldn't go to the office. They sent me home. They shipped all my stuff to me. My computer, my belongings, you know what I'm saying? Everything, bro. They shipped it all to me, bro. It was insane. All right, so we got another clip here, y'all. Who confirms hantavirus strain that spreads person to person? Look, y'all, this mug better not be spreading person to person, y'all. It better not be spreading person to person.
Evacuated 3 passengers with suspected hantavirus from the cruise ship, stricken with a deadly outbreak of the disease. And meanwhile, experts are confirming there have been cases of a rare strain on the ship that can be transmitted between humans. The head of the WHO says 2 crew members and 1 other person are being flown to the Netherlands for care. And as of today, the WHO has identified 8 suspected and confirmed cases on the MV Hondias. It's a rare strain, the Andes variant, and it's been confirmed in patients receiving care in South Africa and in Switzerland. South Africa says it has begun contact tracing.
I'm in South Africa, too. I'm in South Africa, y'all. I'm scared to death. Pray for me.
4 Canadians are still on board that ship. The CBC's Crystal Gumansing leads off our coverage this morning following developments from our London bureau. Crystal, what do we know about those who are sick?
Well, let's start with those 3 individuals who were medically transported off of the ship today. We heard from the World Health Organization as well as the Dutch foreign minister confirming that 1 was a British individual, a German individual, and a Dutch individual. We know that there have been 3 confirmed laboratory cases of hantavirus, specifically the Andes strain of the hantavirus, which which is common in Argentina and in Chile, and that the WHO says there are 8 confirmed cases. You mentioned the one case in Switzerland. That, according to Swiss officials, was an individual who was previously on board the vessel and went back home. That individual was showing symptoms, presented himself to hospital. That individual is being cared for, and they've also isolated his wife as a precaution. So we are starting to see more information coming out about individuals who are suspected to have hantavirus or there have been confirmed to have this virus. And there is a lot of tracing that is going on now, trying to confirm exactly what type of virus this is, if it is the same strain, and they're tracking where it is all going. So this is a story that continues to develop as we do get more information from the WHO, which is really taking the lead on this, Susan.
There's no treatment for hantavirus per se, and because there are different strains of hantavirus, different strains can affect you differently. The Andes strain and most strains that are found in North and South America in particular tend to cause something called cardiopulmonary syndrome. So basically it causes a capillary leak. Your lungs will fill with fluid. If you can be brought to hospital, if you can be put in an ICU, if you can be intubated or even put on a heart
Not gonna
machine,
lie, this low key kind of sound worse than COVID. Like what you mean my lungs can fill with fluid? Nah, bro, I don't know, man.
In case, what you're basically getting is supportive care. You are keeping somebody alive until the virus clears the system and they recover.
So that there was Dr. Christopher Labos talking about the serious health implications of this virus if it does sort of progress to an acute stage. And we do know that 2 of those individuals who were taken off the ship, officials with the ship liner, the organization that oversees that vessel, Oceanwide Expedition, says 2 of those individuals were dealing with acute symptoms.
Crystal, that ship has been stranded really out in the middle of the ocean, not having a port to get to. And now the Canary Islands, there are some officials there who don't want it to dock there either. What do we know as of now?
Yeah, so it is sitting off of the west coast of Africa, Cape Verde. It has been there for a couple of days now. World Health Organization officials yesterday said that the Spanish government had given the vessel permission to go to the Canary Islands. But we are now today hearing from the president of the Canary Islands, Fernando Cavillo. He is expressing real concern and frustration, saying that he hasn't had any communication from the president of Spain. He has not heard from Spain's health minister, that he wants more information and doesn't understand why this vessel would take the 3-day trip to the Canary Islands to then do more testing and have all of these individuals disembarked. He's saying that can happen where it is currently. There are also people in Tenerife who are expressing concern, wondering why the vessel has to go there and the potential for this virus to spread to other individuals. We are hearing from officials with the WHO who are stressing that person-to-person transmission of the hantavirus is, quote, very, very rare. It has occurred in this situation, but they are trying to downplay the overall fear and the possibility that if these individuals do go to the Canary Islands, that we would see widespread transmission, saying it has to be very, very close contact for this spread of the virus. So there is a...
So basically, the two have to be getting intimate or something for it to spread, is what I'm hearing.
A lot of concern. There is a lot of question. The president of the Canary Islands saying at this point, all he knows is there is a request for a vessel to dock on Saturday, the 9th. He has requested some more information from the WHO and from Spanish authorities, Susan.
Some holiday for those on that ship stranded out at sea.
Imagine, bro. Like, how do they even know that it's that virus, though? How did they determine that? That's what I want to know. Because they in the middle of the ocean. I know they said that 2 people have, they took 2 people. Like, how? Like, I don't know, man. I have a lot of questions, but what do you guys think, y'all? What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to go on lockdown again? The good thing is, apparently it's very, very rare for it to spread from person to person. but it's still possible. It's still like, it still can happen. So I don't know, man. I guess we'll see with the upcoming weeks of what's gonna go on with this, and hopefully it doesn't get as serious as the Rona did. But I guess we'll have an eye out and we'll get updates. But let me know what you guys think, and yeah, until next time.